All right, hi everybody. So this question right here, we're being asked to solve cosecant of theta plus 2 is equal to 0. And we're solving it in a domain negative 360 out to 360. Now let's talk about that. Okay, what does that look like? Well, negative 360 is a full rotation in the negative direction. And then positive 360 is a full rotation in the positive direction. Okay, so I've got these overlapping domain arrows here, which means I'm likely going to get like multiple angles here for a single terminal arm. Now let's go take a look at our equation. So I'm going to isolate the trig function. So cosecant of theta is equal to negative 2. I don't want to work with cosecant. I want to work with either sine, cos, or tan. So I know that cosecant is the reciprocal of sine. So I'm going to reciprocate both sides. And when I do that, on the left that becomes sine of theta, but when I do it on the right I get negative 1/2. Now, the sine ratio is negative. So what two quadrants is sine negative in? Well, it's negative down here in quadrants 3 and 4. So here are my 4 angles there. I've got 2 along the negative rotation, 2 along the positive rotation. What I need to do now is get my reference angle. So the reference angle is going to be the inverse sine of positive 1/2. I don't want the negative. The negative told me what quadrants I'm in. What I want is the size of the reference angle. So I'm just going to use that value there, and I'm going to get 30 degrees. So now I'm going to get angles in the 4th quadrant, and I'm going to get angles in the 3rd quadrant. Okay, here we go. So first of all, I'm going to look at the negative rotation here, because it comes first here, this negative 360. So starting at 0, I go down my reference angle, so 30 degrees, to get to my terminal arm. So my first angle in the 4th quadrant is negative 30 degrees. Now my next angle along this arrow here is in the 3rd quadrant. So I'm going to rotate negatively 180, so it's negative 180. And then I'm going to come back towards the terminal arm positively going 30 degrees. So that's going to be negative 180 plus 30 will be negative 150 degrees. Now, there are no other points of intersection between this arrow and terminal arms, so that's done. Now I move to the positive rotation. Now, to get to the 3rd quadrant, so there's going to be another angle here in the 3rd quadrant. To get to the 3rd quadrant, I go to the x-axis, so 180, and then I go an additional 30 degrees. So 180 plus that 30 is going to be 210. And now to get to the 4th quadrant, I go all the way around, and I go past that, because remember I'm doing this with reference to the x-axis. So you go all the way around 360, and then I've got this negative rotation of 30 degrees. So positive 360, and then that negative gets me back to that reference angle, the terminal arm, and so that is going to be 330 degrees, 360 minus 30. So these are the 4 angles that we were looking for.